It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Yeah, what is going on, my pretty babies? Lee Sanders with you guys for this Monday night. Actually, Monday afternoon, beginning of evening edition of the RCWR show, coming at you for this March 17th, 2025. Appreciate you guys that's tuning in right now. You're probably going, wait, what's going on? Well, remember, and we did try to remind you guys on last week's broadcast, but Monday Night Raw this week, which came to us from Brussels, out of state. It's starting to ring a bell now, right? But we told you guys Raw was going to be coming on live via Netflix on the East Coast at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we said we were going to come on maybe as soon as the event was over. But, now that I am really taking the time to think about it, it didn't really dawn on me until earlier this afternoon. Literally an hour to go before Raw came on, I said, oh, yeah, wonder what time Raw comes on tonight. And I'm going, oh, it's the usual time. What am I tripping over? And then it was like, wait a minute, isn't something supposed to be happening? Isn't it a special start time or something like that? And I asked Google, yo, what's going on with Raw tonight? And it was like, oh, it airs at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going, huh? What? And then my memory was jogged. So luckily for me, it is the beginning of spring break. So I am on a well-deserved break from all of my classes for the semester. Doesn't pick back up until next week, which is great. So believe it or not, I know most people, all right, spring break, I don't have to have my face buried in the books. I don't have to, I'm actually spending the time doing a lot of reading. I'm prepping for a math exam that I got coming up after spring break. So the professor was like, hey, I've extended the deadlines for assignments and also giving you guys enough time to catch up on your reading. Basically, I got to read the first 4 chapters to prepare for this exam. So no pressure whatsoever. I'll take it. But no, it is the start of spring break. So the fact that WWE is doing what they're doing right now with these out-of-state editions of Raw and SmackDown, it's a blessing in disguise, I tell you. Now, programming note for those of you that normally check out SmackDown each week, remember SmackDown is going to be a out-of-country broadcast. Now, if you have Netflix, then you'll be able to watch SmackDown in your respected region on Netflix. You got the hookup. You're good. Meanwhile, those of us back in the States here, USA, Canada, surrounding areas, we're basically going to be getting it at our usual time, the way that it's looking. So FYI on that one, okay? I don't want you guys hopping on Netflix thinking you're going to be able to watch SmackDown or go on to some other social media channel. You're not going to be able to watch it that way. You're going to have to do it the usual way. So I know a lot of my friends in the podcasting world, they're still trying to figure out how they're going to be airing. I know some are probably going to shoot for 7, 8 o'clock tonight, maybe even 9 o'clock tonight. Others might shoot for their regular time. So however you are deciding to check this episode out right now, be it live or you're representing for on demand or the downloads wherever you get your podcast. I do appreciate you guys, and I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Mine's was good, I gotta tell you. Did you guys see the video I posted on the YouTube channel and on X of me out in the College Park area? Go check that out. But for those of you that's not aware, so I was out on the road late Saturday night going into Sunday, and I came across this drunk driver or something was going on with this person. But long story short, they were unconscious, breathing, but they were unconscious inside their vehicle. This was basically at a four-way intersection, and dude was knocked out. The stick was in drive, yet somehow the guy's foot was on the brake, and so the car basically, it was like that. It's interesting because when I was at the light, I was opposite. So just picture those traditional clocks for a minute. You know how you got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right? How they taught us in school and everything. So if you're looking at the clock from that standpoint, I'm basically looking at this car in a 3 o'clock direction, basically. Like I'm in a 6 o'clock position, looking in the 3 o'clock position per se. Or if you want to maybe say, no, you were in a 12 o'clock position, looking at it as it was at a 3 o'clock, like however you want to figure it out. Basically, it was some setup like that. And I'm seeing these other cars honking and they're going around it like nobody's taking the time out to check on the driver. And I'm looking at this car. I start to drive off, and then I go, nah, let me do a little U-turn real quick, see what's going on with this car. And as I pull up behind the car, I'm trying to see if there's any type of movement going. I actually honk my horn. The guy's not moving. So then I pull up to its right side, and I see clear as day this guy is just head slouched over. Head wasn't going into the steering wheel or anything like that, but it just looked like he was out cold. So I stayed at the scene. I called 911, told them what was going on. Rather responsive. They got there, I would say, in about 10 minutes. Told the officer what was going on. And I told him flat out, I said, look, I said, nobody was helping this guy. I wanted to at least stay with him, make sure he was, going to be okay. And until you guys got here, hopefully, that'll definitely, because I told the officer flat out, I said, I hope he's not dead. It's like he seems to be breathing. At least to me, he seemed to be breathing. But then again, it's kind of like, are you really sure? Like at this point, like, are you really, really sure? Yeah, here's one of those things. Isn't it weird, longtime listeners? Isn't this weird? Because this is like the second instance now where I have been somehow inadvertently involved in something involving either an accident or some reckless drive, whatever you want to call it. It's really, really weird when I stop and think about it. So that was part of my crazy weekend that was going on. Was also putting in some more apps at a couple of four-year universities for transferring and all that. We're gonna do a LeBron James the decision joint when it comes to that too, man. I'm telling you guys right now, no poll asking you guys what did you think about this week's Monday Night Raw. Maybe we'll put that up after the fact. I know one thing is for certain, we will be doing a bonus show later on in the week. Now, show format wise for tonight, as far as discussions go, not that much has transpired since last we were on the air. So this is going to be one of those in and out type of shows. By the way, before we dive in, for you pet lovers out there, I got a fun little tip that I want to share with you guys. And look, we all deal with them at some point. Rodents, right? We're talking about rats, right? We all deal with them at some point, and we want to try to figure out the most humane way to get rid of them. Some folks, if you're like me, you go with glue traps, right? But here's where it can be a little bit of a problem. If you have a furry little friend that likes being nosy, sniffing its way through things, and that was the case with one of my furry little daughters, my second oldest, Precious. She decided, Precious. I tell you, if she was a human, oh my God, our pantries would be empty right now because Precious loves to eat. You can give her all her meals. This girl eats 2 meals a day, gets hearty treats throughout the day whenever mommy and daddy are home, and she will still beg. She go, "Ooh!" I mean, she begs like somebody shot her or something, or like she's in pain, right? When she sees other people eating and all that. So I'm watching Raw. Okay, this literally happened a few minutes ago. I'm watching the main event, and I hear a little bit of whimpering. I'm like, "The hell is going on?" And then I hear a little bit of rattling. Sounds like maybe, and I'm going, "Oh, I got a Frito bag chilling. It's closed, but it's on the recliner." And I'm like, "Hey, leave that alone." I'm trying to watch the main event, and I continue to hear a little bit of crunchy, little rattle rattle. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" I finally look down and I see that Precious Paul is in the glue trap, and she's literally shaking it off, kind of like, "Get off me." I'm looking at the trap. She has somehow removed the peanut butter that I put dead square in the middle. She's somehow removed that. I'm going, "Are you serious?" And so I had to take her downstairs. I'm give you guys a really great tip. Y'all are gonna love this. If you end up in a situation where your furry friend messes with those traps, like, first of all, definitely remain calm, right? You could be firm, you could say bad, 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 you can do all that, but be calm, right? Don't beat them, don't beat your pet. Be calm. Get you some vegetable oil or some olive oil. Put that on a paper towel, and wherever they were messing around with that glue trap, right? You can just rub that respected area, rub it for, about a minute, and the adhesive, it all comes off. No bull. It all comes off. So in this case, she had it on her paw. She had some of the adhesive around her, right up under her gum. So I was able to get all that off with ease. It's no longer in her fur. You're in, you're out. So I hope you guys remember that, right? So you never know when that olive oil or vegetable oil will come in handy. I tell you what, crazy, right? Crazy. She eats like I don't know what, and she's doing this crap. It's insane. So look, we only had 4 matches for this edition of Monday Night Raw that came to us in Brussels, Belgium. And I gotta tell you, the arena that WWE Raw was at for tonight, I loved it on so many levels, and it was a sold out arena too. I wish we could have heard the final attendance numbers. Definitely from a production value standpoint, something I am learning more and more about extremely well with all the classes I've been taking in television production, understanding how on field cameras work and everything. I tell you, this was another one of those top notch quality productions that WWE did. It had a special feel to it that combined with that hot Belgium crowd, it really created magical moments for because let's be real here. When you look at the matches themselves, the 4 matches themselves that was on the card for tonight, you really just go, well, if we're being honest, it really was all about the main event, which was for the Intercontinental Championship as Braun Breaker defended against Finn Balor. Everything else was pretty much, well, actually, you know what? You also got to give it up to Ludwig Kaiser and Penta in their no holds barred match, although their last couple of encounters was better in my personal opinion. But hey, opinions can vary on that. But really, it's all about the Intercontinental. But then again, I would not be surprised if some people felt that where the real money lied was in that no holds barred match, and that the main event match was a little bit lackluster. I wouldn't be surprised if some people felt that way. But definitely you came out of this week going, this was really a one match episode, but you really watched to see how that Belgium crowd was going to be taking in some key moments from this show, because besides the matches, putting that to the side, okay, one match show, the real meat and potatoes, the real investment for what's the incentive for checking out this week, knowing that John Cena and Cody Rhodes were going to be on the same show under the same roof, and they're going to run it back next week. I'll give you the full rundown on how next week's card is looking. Corey Graves sitting at ringside with one Michael Cole for this week's Raw. I guess Pat McAfee on assignment, vacation, whatever is going on. Hey, cool. But we had Corey Graves. A very interesting situation there, right? Because you're thinking about the fact that Carmella did that interview at this point a week plus ago, where she just trashed the hell out of the WWE. We talked about that at length, pretty much threw them under the bus. And my words, and I still stand behind them. Hey, not for nothing, Corey Graves still works for these guys. Oof, don't make this difficult for the man. So, and then thinking about Corey Graves and his respected social media antics from about 2 months ago that most likely got him in the doghouse for a bit. It's nice to see how things pretty much how it ended as Corey Graves this week sitting right beside Michael Cole. It's like, wow, okay. Like I did not see that come. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Just looking at the totality of everything that we just talked about. If you were of the mindset of, well, guess we'll never be seeing Corey Graves on a Monday night again, or well, I guess it's safe to say for at least the next several months, we're not going to be seeing Corey Graves on Raw. Like, yeah, okay, you're probably right. So to see, I guess everything is cool in the neighborhood if you're Corey Graves in them, right? Boy, that would be a very, very. I would just love to hear Corey Graves there, wouldn't you? Like, hey, what was going on in your mind when you heard Carmella saying these things that she was saying? Whether you watched that interview she did with that woman, or you saw the transcript highlights, or you ended up hearing about it after the fact, just to know what his immediate reactions were, the conversation that he might have had with Carmella, the conversation that he might have had with Michael Cole, maybe Triple H, Paul Levesque, and right, you just can't help but wonder about all of that stuff. Look, show opened up white hot. I will definitely give WWE that. I will give them major props for that. Your main lead-in was the moment that everybody is still talking about these couple of weeks later, which is the John Cena heel turn. And of course, that had many people, and I'm happy to say, and I'm not saying this to self-suck myself here, right? This isn't self-indulgence, but we never did go with the whole, oh, does this mean John Cena's going to grow some stubble, some facial hair? Does this mean John Cena's going to change his whole attire? He's going to get a new theme song. And I know normally when stuff like that happens, that's something that we like to explore, right? It's really great talking points. What if this happens? What if we get this? Well, how about this? Trust me, I get it. But these past couple of years, I've been more in the mindset of I don't want to figure all of that stuff out. I would rather just kick back, just take it in, enjoy the ride. Let's just see how it all plays itself out. And so WWE has had a couple of weeks now to marinate on everything that's been happening on social media with John Cena and fine tune a couple of things here and there. And what we got tonight wasn't a John Cena that decided I'm going to go some facial hair. We didn't get a John Cena that decided I'm going to wear all black because I'm a bad guy now, or I'm going to change my theme song. No, we got the usual John Cena that we've been seeing all these years that came right on out to a chorus of boos. Am I hot tonight? Boy, it was hot from that Belgium crowd when John Cena came out. I mean, the chorus of boos was undeniable. Undeniable. Just the right down to the point. Several minutes there. Several minutes, John Cena getting the boos. You heard a couple of people cheering. I couldn't help but notice the one guy that was sitting in the front row in front of the hard camera with his John Cena farewell gear on, looking on, but kind of shaking his head in disbelief, but looking on at his hero. It's almost kind of one of those, say it ain't so, Superman. Say you haven't joined the dark forces of evil. Say it ain't so, Superman. You know, one of those type of deals, boys and girls. And finally, after several minutes there, John Cena getting on the microphone and finally, getting right into the thick of it as far as his promo goes. Really, that promo, in a nutshell, I did take down notes. He talked about how for 25 years he has been the victim of an abusive relationship. And it's so funny because as soon as I heard Cena go that route, I'm going, are we talking Vince McMahon here? Like you could have, as you hear that, like Vince McMahon, and considering the stuff that's going on with him legally, with Janelle Grant and all that, you're going, whoa, this is hitting a little bit too close to home, dog. But you kind of was getting around to what he was talking about there. But no, for 25 years, he felt that he has been the victim in a abusive relationship, that all the fans at the end of the day have been hurtful to him. They've been abusive. All they've ever done to him is expect him to be a puppet. Come out there, entertain. Cena looked dead at the hard camera and said, I am not a babyface. I am not a heel, pretty much just saying, I am just me. I'm just a human being. And that each and every one of the fans in the WWE universe have been nothing but mean to him. He even looked at the people that's been representing by wearing his gear. Going back to that guy that we mentioned earlier, for all the Let's Go Cena fans and everything, he pretty much lit their behinds on fire as well, letting them know that they are part of the issue as well. Because when it comes to that whole hustle, loyalty, respect, his theme song, his merch, basically he looks at these people that are saying, Let's Go Cena, the C Nation, as he once dubbed them. He says, no, you guys are nothing more. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he calls them parasites because all they basically are doing is leeching off of him. They're stealing from him as he's been going in, day out, putting in the work. He's actually doing the damn thing while all these fans are sitting on their asses. It was a great back and forth there that he had going on with the crowd. He talked about how he admitted, hey, I want to do something really nice for the fans. I want to do something cool. I want to do this farewell tour. And, that kind of coincided with the fact that, here is Cena, just like before, many times over the years, trying to please the fans, trying to give them what they want and everything, but that it's never enough. Going back to the final moments and everything, he mentioned, hey, he could have just walked away, but no, he announced his retirement. He announced the farewell tour, how long it was going to be, all of that. He wanted to do something nice for the fans one last time. He wanted to try to get along with the fans, and they ruined it. They ruined it. They ruined it. Yeah, so you're going, well, how did they ruin it, Cena? Like, how exactly did they ruin it for you, bud? Like, what did they, like, they're showing up, like, wherever you're asking them to, hey, you're going to be Like they're getting the tickets, they're trying to show up, right? But okay, whatever. You're still going with this, right? But there's definitely some flaws in this promo of Cena's, which we're highlighting obviously, but there's even more that we're going to talk about in a hot little bit. But Cena feeling as though no matter what he does, it is just never enough, and that the fans should be ashamed of themselves because all they do is take, 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 take. They do not give. They do not give back. Right down to the point. Nobody ever, far as Cena is concerned, nobody has ever asked him how he feels, how he's felt. It is just, what do we get? They got to turn that into a t-shirt, by the way. The way that whole what do we get? Right? I think they got to do something with that. So Cena mentions that whole thing earlier about new music, new attire. Like, no, you don't get a new look. No, you don't get new music. All you get is what you've been getting, because he's never changed. He is still who he says he's always been. The fans' time is up. His time is now. So that is pretty much where we are right here. Fans chanting for Cody Rhodes. Cena acknowledging that. Yeah, you guys want the new shiny new toy. Yeah, once again, the disrespect. There it is. Plain as day. You guys are done with me. You want to put me on the shelf. You want to play with that new shiny toy. That's John Cena and everything. Man, he really fucking owned them big time. Owned them real good. Even acknowledging the fact that, fans think they can, jack his catchphrases, they can buy his catchphrases, and it's like, no, you don't live that life. He's the one that actually lives it. They are an excuse of pathetic failures in their own lives. Even mentions the kids. John Cena pretty much saying F them kids because he's out. He's done with the kids. All I could think about at that moment was those poor Make-A-Wish kids. Just hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up. And yeah, poor little Timmy in Iowa just say it isn't so, John. And that's the end of poor little Timmy. Wow. Yeah, good stuff. John Cena wrapping things up saying it's a toxic, dysfunctional relationship. He's breaking up with every single person, regardless. They are all dumped. He doesn't care. They don't matter. So here's the biggest problem with this Cena promo here, right? Beautifully done. Don't get me wrong. Beautifully done what he did. But here's part of the problem with this. And that's the fact that we did not get any type of reference to The Rock as far as why did Cena do this? What was his motivation here? Like, what did The Rock come to him and make him an offer he couldn't refuse? We did not get any hint. We did not get any, in regards to The Rock. This is why, hey, let me explain to you why I did what I did to Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber, why I joined alliances there with The Rock and Travis Scott. None of that was referenced at all. None of that was referenced. Now, granted, we're 33 nights away from WrestleMania 41. There is still plenty of time to tell that story, fam, right? There's still plenty of time. But for what it was worth here for this week, look, it was good. I love seeing Cena basically being, as Cody Rhodes called him out on it. I loved seeing Cena be this whiny little brat, that's like, oh, I gave. And you guys, all you did was take. And I love how Cody Rhodes came out there and checkmated him. He pretty much told him straight up, look, if this version of John Cena is what's gonna be showing up at WrestleMania, I'm a steamroll over that big time. And if your best shot was what you did to me at Elimination Chamber, oh, you best believe when it comes to your retirement tour, I have it my way. By the time I'm done with you at WrestleMania, you're gonna be retiring mad early. So I loved how Cody Rhodes checkmated him and told him flat out, he wants the old John Cena. He wants a John Cena that he's been dealing with all the way up until now. Because what he's got standing before him is nothing more than a whiny little, you know what, witch, but take that W out and put in the B word. I love how John Cena threw this promo back at the fans, though, right? I try to do something nice for you. It's never enough. It's the most simplistic turn of events, isn't it? It's the most simplistic answer, isn't it? We've all been there. We've all felt that way, whether it's in a working relationship or it's a personal relationship. We've dealt with that individual that, God damn, I just keep giving and giving and giving. And it seems like it's never enough. It seems like it's never appreciated. What the hell? So, a good promo, um, not the promo that I was expecting. I gotta be honest with you, especially given the fact that there was no new look for John Cena. There was no new music. It's just what you see. It's what you get. It's just, yeah, okay. All right. I'm color me intrigued. Continue on, my friend, and everything. So to see this raging, selfish John Cena, right? Shout out to the fan that had the sign in the crowd that read, uh oh God, I think I took a picture of it. Hang on, let me see if I saved. I hope I saved it. Yes, I did. Shout out to the fan that had the sign Cena lost his soul dot 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 and his hair. That just savage. Savage. I love that sign. I freaking love that sign. So John Cena and Cody Rhodes looks like they're gonna be continuing this on next week. They'll be running this again, button heads next week. Again, we'll tell you a little bit more about that. Obviously, there's some work that needs to be done. Even Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes did not even acknowledge The Rock, why things went down the way that they did. If anything, Cody just said, hey, even despite what had happened at Elimination Chamber, I, right along with all the other fans, I wanted to know why. I wanted to get a understanding. I felt that after everything that you've done for this business, I at least owed you that. So, but we still didn't. So next week should be very, very interesting. And I'm more curious to know whether or not we're going to be seeing the people's champ, the final boss, The Rock, going to be in the house. No holds barred match from there. Penta taking on Ludwig Kaiser. Penta picking up the victory. Nice little fun matchup. That went about, I would say, maybe about 12, maybe possibly almost 15 minutes, give or take. Nice little fun back and forth match. Penta just continuing to thrive in that WWE environment. Look, Penta has been doing so well in that company. It's getting to a point for me where you just know eventually Ray Phoenix is going to be in WWE, but should WWE be so quick to put those two together as a tag team? That's what I can't help but wonder. And, as it stands right now, I'm kind of pushing back going, yeah, nah, let's not be so quick to have them join forces. Like, let's milk this for what it's worth, seeing Penta out there as a solo act, because he's thriving big time. Kathy Kelly called up to Penta asking what's next for him. Penta's saying, yeah, as far as what's next, the Intercontinental Championship. That's what's next. So definitely he was paying attention to that main event, because as far as he was concerned, he's got next. And I tell you what, if it's going to be Braun Breaker and Penta at WrestleMania for that IC championship, bring it, because that's actually going to be a pretty damn good match. As far as I'm concerned and everything. Fun little opener though. Even in defeat, Kaiser looked pretty good. Um, Penta though, I mean, week in, week out, he is continuing to take not just the wrestling community, but WWE fans specifically, especially those that are weren't familiar with his work in the previous years, from the previous promotions. Is just continuing to build up great momentum, great little overnight sensation and everything. So good stuff right there. Meanwhile, looks like we see the Judgment Day. They're not playing the new WWE 2K25 yet. I said yet. Yet. Give it some time though. But we see Finn Balor, he's interacting with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and they're pretty much all wishing each other luck in their upcoming matches. Dom brings up the fact that, hey, we're obviously hurting right now. Judgment Day, no JD, and we could use some really serious muscle right now. And Finn Balor's like, okay, so all right, let's hear this. Who are you thinking about? I was ready to hear Karrion Kross, because I'm just going through the names of and Karrion Kross. It's just, especially now that he is without what's his face or faces, the authors of Pain, Paul Ellering. It's like, okay, so he's just floating around doing his Sean O'Hara thing, which is great. I'm loving it. I'm loving how he's stringing things together and everything behind the scenes. It almost reminds me, and I think this is, and I'm gonna tell Cross this, and I'm sure he will take this as a really big compliment. But for you gamers out there, and please don't be hitting me up with, before anybody asks, I have not purchased WWE 2K25 yet. I literally just got my car out of the shop several days ago. And my mechanic was like, look, you got to start thinking about the future. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, well, look, your car is going to continue to jerk while you're driving it. We were able to, fix it up. I found a part, a little tube that should help you out a little bit. Doesn't seem to be jerking as much, but that issue is going to continue to be a problem for you. It's the transmission when it's all said and done. It's like, and my mechanic told me straight up, he said, you can continue to drive it. It's like, no problem. He's like, but you two options. You either are going to have to save up some money and get the transmission replaced, or you're going to have to get a brand new car. And it was like, it's like so not what I wanted to hear, and everything. So any plans I had for checking out WWE 2K25, it was like, yeah, or some other miscellaneous stuff gaming related, like that's like on hold right now. I'm hoping I pick up the game sometime mid-April. And honestly, as I've gotten older, I'm personally finding waiting a month or two after a new game comes out is fantastic, because any patches that need to come out, glitches, all that stuff, okay, here you are. Give me the most complete product as possible by the time I get ready to play this thing, right? That's my whole thing. I haven't really seen too many complaints though, if any. But if you guys have been noticing some stuff, definitely, let me know what's been going on, and I'll definitely talk about it here, share it with the community, and everything. But yeah, they're not playing the video games yet. I'm just going, but for you gamers out there, anybody that's played Batman from what's that development company, Telltale? Telltale. You know the company I'm talking about. It was an interactive Batman game. I mean, very innovative, very, very innovative. And if you played that game and you remember the plot, Joker essentially the puppeteer, right behind the scenes and everything. I'm looking at Karrion Cross, and he's got that Sean O'Hare and Joker vibe in the way the games are being played in the shadows there. I gotta say I'm loving it. I'm loving it on so many levels. But I thought Dom Mysterio was getting ready to mention him. Or maybe he was getting ready to mention Omaz, because I know Omaz, wrapped up with Pro Wrestling Noah not long ago, said he was going to be coming back to the WWE. And now look, those names that I just mentioned, that could very well still be in play. But at least this week on this night, Finn Balor shot that down as the idea of another member coming into Judgment Day. As Dom revealed, Penta is somebody he's very interested in recruiting for Judgment Day. Finn Balor, oh man, was he beat red. It's like, dude, how you gonna invite that guy to Judgment Day? You've been talking to this guy, and this is somebody that is after my Intercontinental Championship. What the hell is wrong with you? It's like you're not thinking at all. So the butting of the heads between Dom and Finn, the drama continues and everything. Dom is talking to Carlito, trying to wonder what's going on with Finn. What's wrong with his mindset. Carlito's like, you don't watch the show, do you? Nice, fun little thing right there. Meanwhile, Dakota Kai taking on Ivy Nile. Chad Gable joined the Creed brothers at ringside. Speaking of the Creed brothers, how about that interview that Jonathan Majors gave? That's not looking too good, isn't it? So there's a new interview that's out that Jonathan Majors gave, where he's basically, you're checking out the transcripts and all that, and you're like, okay, damage control, obviously. You're trying to rebuild your name, you're trying to rebuild your brand, but at the same time that this new interview comes out and you've got Michael B. Jordan saying, hey, I want to make another Creed movie with this guy. You got Matthew McConaughey saying, hey, he is a talented man. I got the time to get to know him. And he's a really, I believe in him. I believe in his journey, basically big endorsements in a nutshell coming from all these people left and right. And now there's new audio that has surfaced where apparently Jonathan Majors admits to strangling, choking out that woman in question there. Oof. Bad timing, I tell you, bad timing. I got on that subject because the Creed brothers, that's how I got on that topic. But this was a very, very short match. Dakota Kai picking up the win as Chad distracted Dakota on the apron. Ivy hitting a big move for a near fall. Rey Mysterio Dragon Lee running down, take out the Creed brothers, chased Chad Gable out of the ring. Ivy coming in with a kick, big old kick to Dakota, then going for the GTK, picking up the win that way. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, didn't we get a maxed individual? I think that was was that this match or was it later on? Yeah, it was later on during the night. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a hot second. Look, this match was about, I don't even know if it made it 2 minutes, but when it's all said and done, you're looking at everything that transpired here more so from the standpoint of angle, right? Story development, advancement. You're looking at everything from that standpoint. Definitely this is a multi-layered element too when you look at this, because on the one hand, Ivy now, she let it be known that she is still gun-ho for that women's Intercontinental Championship. So Chad Gable, timing of him being back, all right. But it would have been better had it been a case right here where Ivy Nile picked up the win as opposed to Dakota Kai, right? Because again, final moments of that, Gable out of the arena. Ivy, she gets a big kick from Dakota. Then the GTK, Dakota Kai picking up the win. Um, it feels like WWE really is still in that period of trying to figure certain talents out. Dakota Kai feels like one of them. Feels like they're really whatever it is that they're seeing that they think they see untapped or whatever. They still have that mindset of which is weird because when you're looking at Ivy now, you're going, no, Ivy now seems like the one that you maybe want to go with. That seems to be the more steadier hand. That seems to be the one that has a more flushed out personality and is capable of so much more if you put the respected resources into her and everything. But you got what's happening with Ivy now, her character aspirations, Creed brothers mixed in there, the LWO American made feud that's been, off again, on again, but it's pretty much been, past several weeks now, it's been going down. Up next, contract signing between Io Sky and Bianca Belair. Adam Pearce there, signed. Rhea Ripley comes out. Still pretty salty about what all transpired and her ultimately losing her women's championship. Little brawl breaks out. Rhea Ripley gets the best of both girls. She ends up, Rhea does, signing the contract after Bianca and Io signed it. Adam Pearce going, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that. Follows up backstage. Pearce catches up to her, wants the contract back. She's like, no, just acting like a spoiled little child. Like, no. It's like, clean your room. No. Make up your bed. No. Take out the trash. No. She's just hitting Adam Pearce with the no. And she's saying, hey, make it official. And Pierce is like, no, like this. And even Corey Graves and Michael Cole are letting fans know that's no way is that binding. There's just no way. This goes back to what we were talking about before, which is, well, Rhea Ripley is owed a rematch. So will she be allowed to cash in on that rematch and make it go down at WrestleMania and force her way into a three-way, right? I think that's the course of action that is very likely to occur there. But I like how we've got Io Sky in this position where, hey, eyes on me. I'm the champion here. I'm the one that you need to be focused on. How dare you disrespect me, the new champion? And it's not about you two, it's about me. I love this story here that we're telling, and it could be when we get to WrestleMania, it could ultimately be Rhea and Bianca's downfall there. And I appreciate the fact that when we followed up backstage after a commercial break, all the girls were brawling with one another again there. So that was pretty nice. Adam Pearce right there on the scene, trying to break everything up. Squash match, Jey Uso, Austin Theory. Yeah, just A-Town down under. That's all I gotta say. They're down under, all right. Gunther coming in, putting Uso in a sleeper hold. Jey Uso manages to get in a little bit of offense. I'm following the whole storyline continuity here, and the one thing that was missing, call me a sucker for fine attention to detail, but we go back to Otis, Akira Tozawa, Maxine Dupree. Remember how last week they checked in with Jay and they said, oh man, we're really sorry about what happened with you there. I promise it won't happen again. We're really sorry that we let you down. Won't happen again. We got you. We got your back. We got you. We got you. Where the hell were they this week? What? They weren't allowed to come to Belgium? Like what the hell? So yeah, that was just kind of baffling to me. And the one thing, here's how you could have cleaned that up too, right? for those that might be quick to say, well, maybe they just couldn't make it to the show, Lee. Okay. Here's how you could have tackled that. You could have had one of the commentators say, man, isn't anybody going to come out here and help Jey? Where's Otis and them? Didn't they say they would have his back? And Cole or, whatever could have said, yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, sadly, they're not on this tour with us for this week. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You could have acknowledged that. Plain and simple. Meanwhile, Creed Brothers in action against Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, another squash match. These squash matches really, really, like I said, it was all about the main event match and the honorable mention to the no holds barred between Penta and Ludwig Kaiser there. But yeah, basically a 2-minute match there where Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee picked up the win there. Just silly. Seth Rollins coming out, pretty much a big fat nothing burger. His promo in a nutshell. No, his promo basically was, I hear that CM Punk and Roman Reigns are going to be on SmackDown this week. They'll be on that show, same building. Okay, I'm going to be right there in the middle. That basically was the promo. Intercontinental Championship match, Bron Breakker defending against Finn Bálor. A bit of a short main event here. I wish this could have been a case where, let's give this about almost 20 minutes at least, or try to hit the 20-minute mark, because we got two really good cats right here. Bit of a short match. Bron Breakker retaining the IC title. Solid match. Good way to end the show. No doubt about it. I thought Bron held his own very well against the veteran in Finn Bálor and everything. Finn bumped very well for Breakker. He bumped very well. But there's really nothing more you can sink your teeth into there, but except the fact that Bron Breakker is definitely going to be a future bona fide stud. I was talking to a couple of friends and even a couple of classmates about Bron Breakker, because they were picking my brain, wanting to know, what did I think about Bron Breakker? Do I believe he really is the future of the WWE? And short answer I told them was yes, without a doubt and everything. Post match, Dominic, Carlito coming out, attack Bron. Penta comes in there for the save. Penta, Breakker stare each other off. Bron kind of looks as though he welcomes the challenge from Penta. That pretty much was the end of the show. So when you get right down to the heart of the matter, once again, you can make an argument this was really a one-match edition. That was a overseas show, so the crowd, their energy, especially matter of fact, we were talking about Karrion Kross earlier. I'd be kicking myself in the ass if I didn't mention this, but there was a backstage interview that was being conducted with AJ Styles, and it got interrupted because Karrion Kross was right there, and he's like, hey, come on, let's admit there's a part of you that deep down you kind of envy Logan Paul. Like, how long did it take you to finally get the admiration, the respect that you so rightfully deserved? And look at how long it took you to finally come to the WWE. Karrion Kross's whole thing was, you're not truly mad at Logan Paul. Maybe there's really a big part of you that's mad at yourself, when you really stop and think about it. AJ's like, no, I'm not playing these mind games, yo. Like, you can miss me with all that. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. He walks away, and Karrion's talking to Scarlett, going, I think it's working. She's like, I think it is too. So what fun games that we're playing here. It's interesting because you basically get yourself a almost 2.5-hour show, 4 matches, and when you add up the run times, Like, you don't even scratch 40 minutes. And this was really about the crowd energy. Great crowd. It was a really, really great crowd, a nice white hot crowd. They made it fun to enjoy, because I promise you, if you would have taken this crowd like they're not a factor, like they don't exist, put this in back in the States, this episode would not have gone as well. So for me, this was definitely a bit of a below average show. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably looking at two ways I can rate this. Factor in the whole John Cena, Cody Rhodes segment, and then take that off the table. With that segment, you're looking at, in my book, you're looking at a 5.5. Without it, you're looking at a 5.5. Included, you're looking at maybe a 6 out of 10. So that's Raw for this week. No poll right now. I'll probably ask you guys later on, what did you guys think about the show? So be on the lookout for that. While we're talking about being out on the lookout, I had a lot of fun reviewing the new Domino. Oh, hang on here. I had a lot of fun reviewing the new Domino's stuffed crust pizza. We got that up as a YouTube short. Feel free to check that out. That's been picking up some solid feedback, comments, and everything. It's so funny. It's barely a 3-minute short. And I had this one person comment a couple of days ago. He goes, "How was it?" And I commented back to him. I said, "Well, we don't told you in the video just now, bub. Like, go check it out." And my man goes, I just saw the comment today, because apparently he commented within the past couple of hours. He goes, I'm not going to watch a 3-minute short. And I just couldn't help but read that comment and go, then why the F would you go on somebody's short to comment, only refusing like that? I don't understand. I'm following the YouTube algorithm, the advice, and I know that in regards to YouTube Shorts, YouTube got feedback from the community, and a lot of people were going, "Yo, make the shorts a little longer." That's great that we've got 30 seconds, 60 seconds, but what about 2 minutes or 3 minutes? How about that? And so I think it's good that YouTube is giving people those options to put out that long of a clip. And I mean, not for nothing, but it didn't take me 3 minutes to bite into that stuffed crust. I pretty much spent a few seconds. I think those of you that watched it, what did we do? We said, "Hey guys, Lee here. I'm back. I showed the pizza within the first 20 seconds." And I'm biting into the motherfucker definitely way before 60 seconds. So I don't know. Some people, you can't please them all. It's kind of going back to that whole John Cena thing. Maybe I don't know. John Cena said he ain't a heel, he ain't a baby face. But goddamn it, when I see comments like that, it's like, it's never enough, is it? Like, it's never enough. No, I blocked him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I blocked him because I said, my whole thought process was, well, if you're not gonna take the time out to, why the F should I even bother? And shout out to the guy that, there was this one guy that commented. He goes, "That's a cool ass box, you guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie." He's like, "I didn't even get that when I tried it. I just got a regular old funky box." I'm like, yeah, now that I think about it, that was a really cool box, wasn't it? Like, yeah, it's funny. I remember back in the day, and you all probably will remember this too, depending on how old you are. But I remember back in the day when it came to Pizza Hut, Domino's, all those guys, they used to do these limited edition pizza boxes that would commemorate, whatever. Maybe it was a movie. Matter of fact, didn't they do something Deadpool related a couple of years back? I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that right. But yeah, they used to stay doing these really cool theme joints. It was really really fun. Kind of a nice little extra incentive for doing business with the folks and all that. So but no, I got a kick out of reading that because I'm like, come on, dude, like really? Like really? Whatever. And then when I pulled up the profile, it was like a little kid. And I'm like, because he says something about he likes making video games with his iPad. I can't even remember the name. It's like, oh, no one. And he had like this cartoon for an avatar. And I'm like, oh, no wonder you're not gonna watch the videos. Like you're just. And I'm like, I blocked them. I'm like, take that noise elsewhere. Go play some Minecraft or something. Whatever. So, little bit of news that we can get into. We're already kind of mixing it up just a little bit off and on during the show because, again, there's really not much that's transpired since last we were on the air. Y'all may find this very interesting. I got some Stone Cold Steve Austin news. By the way, this weekend it was 316 day. I hope you guys managed to go on the WWE shop website and buy yourselves some really cool Stone Cold merch. Some really good stuff that was up for grabs that I was noticing, and you were able to save 31.6% off items for Stone Cold Day. How cool is that? 31.6% off. 31.6% off. No, it's kind of weird, right? Like, wait a minute, that's a very odd, no, that's actually what WWE had did and everything. Got some fun Stone Cold Steve Austin news for you, though. It looks like Steve Austin is going to be coming to WWE World as WWE and Fanatics announced Steve Austin is going to be part of the WWE World for appearances during WrestleMania week in Las Vegas. He's going to be there on both nights of WrestleMania, the way that it's looking. So, that kind of coincides with the interview that he recently gave with Sports Illustrated, where he was asked if he talks to anybody in the WWE currently. And he admitted that, while he's aware that some of the people that was around, back when he was active are now behind the scenes and in higher roles. Of course, he's Triple H, Paul Levesque, and everything. The only person that he kind of talks to regularly is Cody Rhodes. And then even at that, he usually talks to Cody Rhodes once a year. He hasn't caught up with him in a good minute, you know. So it's kind of interesting there. But for those that was kind of wondering what's going on with Steve Austin, wondering if Steve Austin and WWE, if there is like, because we talked about it here on the show, as far as, it's interesting that in this new Triple H Paul Levesque era, TKO era, that Steve Austin hasn't done anything as of yet with WWE, and now to see that something's happening here with him appearing at WWE World, you're going, hey, this is cool. You're going, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? So, and to Universal in the chat, yeah, we just talked about the John Cena promo. We actually had spent the because you probably can't tell at your end. We've actually been on the air for a little bit over an hour now, and we pretty much dedicated almost an hour talking about WWE Raw. Particularly, we did go in depth about the John Cena promo. We talked about how there's a lot of holes in that promo. For anybody that's just now tuning in, at least on the YouTube channel, I don't know if you can do it on Twitter and Facebook, but definitely on the YouTube channel. When you're joining our show live in progress, you have the option where you can rewind it back and you can scrub and go to those key areas that we're talking about for those of you that might be interested in catching up and everything. But going back to Steve Austin, Stone Cold said in that Sports Illustrated interview, it's a good interview. I recommend you go you wait and check it out. He mentioned the fact that there's, no beef, no animosity, nothing weird going down with WWE. It's just one of those cases where, look, the man's just been enjoying life. And look, the other thing that, and we need to constantly remind ourselves, Stone Cold, and this is the word that's coming out in regards to Steve Austin, when it comes to his involvement with WWE, he is very particular. This isn't rumors, this is fact. I know to the extent of I remember when Kevin Owens in a recent interview, he talked about how everything came about with Steve Austin, and even he admitted that Steve Austin is a very particular way. He has a high standard and everything when he's going to get involved in things. And I know Jim Ross is another one that's been, because him and Steve Austin are close friends. Even he's admitted that Steve Austin is very particular about, okay, if he's going to be utilized, like how does he really benefit from this? Does this make a lot of sense? And of course, at the end of the day, the dollars, the mighty, mighty dollar bill and everything. So looking at the fact, this is why we're going on and on and on about this, that Steve Austin is going to be a part of WWE World. Y'all should definitely look at that as a huge indicator that likely Steve Austin is going to have some type of a hand WrestleMania night, particularly Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. We'll see how that all plays out, but have that in the back of you all's head there. Speaking of WWE World, if I'm not mistaken, I believe tickets, at least a pre-sale or something of that magnitude, is going to be underway on Wednesday, and then general public on Friday. Or maybe its tickets are available right now. I know for a fact that WWE Backlash, which is going to be happening on May 10th, tickets for that, the pre-sale begins this Wednesday, and then general public is going to be this Friday. So shout out to anybody that's considering going to that. They are advertising John Cena and Randy Orton will be on that card. So, of course, card is subject to change, but take that for what it's worth. Shout out to Lillian Garcia, who recently came back to the WWE. Uh, she came in shortly after Samantha Irvin made her exit and everything. It looks like she's going to be stepping down from her full-time duties as a ring announcer. Instead, she will be, doing some singing for WWE events on special occasions. She'll also do ring announcing, once in a blue moon. I believe she's going to be doing something for this upcoming main event, Saturday night's main event, but don't quote me on that. But it's nice that I've heard nothing but good things about Lillian Garcia through the years. Nothing but good things. Not one bad thing ever about Lillian Garcia. So it's nice that she's still going to continue to be part of the family. She's still going to continue to be doing some type of work with them and everything. Uh, but if this means that we are going to be getting more Mike Rome, I can do without that. Mike Rome, just the way he looks at the camera and just everything just ends in Cody Rhodes, just go watch, pay attention. Like now, Alicia Taylor, I've got no issues with Alicia Taylor. I think Alicia Taylor is phenomenal at what she does there. Matter of fact, we had her on Raw tonight. She did a really good job with the ring announcing there. So shout out to her for that. Oh, by the way, next week's Raw, for those of you that might be a little bit curious, and that has a special start time as well. That's going to be coming to us from Glasgow, Scotland. Shout out to our friends in Scotland. RCWR show is liked overseas. I always check out the analytics, and it always puts a smile on my face to see Scotland, Germany, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Africa, even It always puts a smile on my face. Spain, Singapore, it always puts a smile on my face to see, oh, we're popular, Ireland. It's like we get a lot of love overseas. But Scotland, y'all are up. I'm excited for you guys. Next week's Raw, we got Raquel Rodriguez taking on Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso and a mystery partner will be taking on A-Town Down Under. And my wife is asking me if the power is out. Hang on a second here. No, power is not out. Give me a second here. She's saying, is the power out? No, as I am live right now. So that's kind of weird. I wonder what's going on with that. Well, we have had strong winds today. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, now that she said that, I'm just curious what's going on with my browser. Yeah, my internet's good and everything. So no power is out over here at my end. But anyway, what were we talking about, fam? I'm so sorry about that. We were talking about the card for next week's Raw. Yeah, so Raquel Rodriguez taking on Lyra Valkyria. CM Punk will be in the house, so we pretty much are going to hear his rebuttal to Seth Rollins' rebuttal this week, I guess, right? That should be interesting. But I wonder if CM Punk will be on SmackDown. That's the $1 million question. Will he be on SmackDown? Guess we'll have to tune in and find out, but probably not. We were talking about Jey Uso and a mystery partner will be teaming up to take down A-Town Down Under. I mean, it's probably going to be Otis and or Akira Tozawa. Probably Otis, right? I mean, that makes a little bit of sense. So that all is going to be coming up on Raw next week. Netflix special start time for those of us here on the East Coast, 4 p.m. Mark that down, 4 p.m. I'm excited for that. I gotta say, to have 2 weeks back to back where we getting these early shows. I love it on so many levels because if you really stop and think about it, it frees us up, doesn't it? We get this out the way and then we can enjoy the rest of the night, maybe spend some time catching up with the family, whatever. Go to bed at an even more decent hour if you're a little bit older. So I mean, that's really, really cool. Also, news related here. TNT. They made the news. Apparently, TNT Sports CEO is saying that the UFC has piqued their interest. Because apparently Warner Brothers Discovery, they're like, hey, what's going on with that there, right? And some very interesting comments in regards to AEW. Very interesting comments in regards to AEW. So let me set this up properly. So the UFC media rights, that's going to be expiring at the end of the year. And UFC is with ESPN. UFC is not happy with ESPN when it's all said and done. I know there was a event that they recently did that had a whole lot of tech issues that UFC were not fans about, and they're kind of looking at that like this is it. Like, we are so freaking done. Like, this is beyond repairable. Like, the damage is already done with the relationship. Now everything else is just insult to injury, basically. And once that deal expires at the end of the year, UFC will then be able to negotiate with any platform. They'll be able to do that as soon as April of 2026, basically. So, of course, Warner Brothers Discovery, they lost the NBA, right? We don't need to dive into all that, but they lost the NBA. So obviously, when it came to Tony Khan and AEW, this definitely worked in their favor and everything. And from what we're able to see with this WBD deal, the numbers are growing. It's steady, all right, but you see a slight increase that's happening there with AEW Dynamite. Collision, on the other hand, you're looking at that and you're going, you know, nowhere near where it was when it first premiered, right? Nowhere near that. It's definitely pulling in them rampage numbers that's making you go, how much longer is this really? You know, eh, can it make it beyond 2025? Can it make it beyond 2026? Who knows? But the TNT Sports CEO, Louis Silberwasser, he had spoke with the Varsity and was asked about Warner Brothers Discovery possibly acquiring UFC rights. Listen to this, but pay very close attention to what he had to say about AEW. And I want you guys to marinate on it. He goes, and I quote, "We know combat sports is an area that we don't have. AEW is not combat sports. It's really a hybrid between entertainment and sports. So we don't consider that 100% sports. Combat sports like UFC, which is a fantastic property, is something that has piqued our interest. Formula One as well. Given our experience with sports internationally, we know the passion for Formula One. We know that in this market, it has grown and it has great potential as well. We will continue to be disciplined and strategic about it. It had to meet those objectives that we want. It has to offer us value from a distribution perspective, from a max perspective, and generate the scale that we need to be able to monetize." Very, very interesting. Very interesting there. Um, Now, some people may look at, what he had to say about AEW. They, oh, that's a dig, and those are fighting words, damn it. But no, I mean, we can look at, not for nothing, but if you take a step back and really, really, you look at TNA, Wow Women of Wrestling, NWA, New Japan, WWE, you look at all of them, it is a hybrid between entertainment and sports, without a doubt. We're talking about 100% pure sport, right? We're talking about that. Then, yeah, you're definitely something like the UFC. Let me tell you something. And I hope this becomes a major talking point for a lot of my friends in the podcasting world there. But Warner Brothers Discovery, if they really are eyeing the hell out of the UFC, and if they can make that right type of offer, boy, I tell you, that would be a really, really great, I won't say redemption arc for Warner Brothers Discovery, but I will say from the standpoint of, okay, you lost the NBA, you lost them to Amazon and all that. How do you rebound exactly? And if you say, well, we're going to rebound from losing the NBA by picking up the UFC, oh my God, that would be, that'd be pretty damn good, because you're essentially still tapping into that same age demographic that you had for the NBA. You're still tapping into that with the UFC and everything. So um, the opportunity that's there for new original programming through Warner Brothers Discovery, especially being able to capitalize and maximize on the streaming platforms and all of that. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a win-win. It is definitely a win-win. So they could be a top contender. Them, I wouldn't sleep on Amazon either. I would not sleep on Amazon. But if you're asking me with the way things are looking right now, especially if you want to pick my brain from a marketing standpoint, and if I could just have the ear of any exec right now, I'm looking at Warner Brothers Discovery going, yo, Especially, just imagine, think about this for a second, because you're going to lose the NBA on TNT and all that. Just imagine if you replace that, maybe that time slot, whatever, right? Just imagine you put in a original MMA show, in that format, something that you're able to do, each and every single week, go over MMA highlights, news, right? Working with the best minds, best popular faces that's out there, hold a good talking game, all that good stuff and all that. That would be pretty damn good. I think. Sound off. Let me know what you guys think. And then, tying it back to the wrestling, just looking at things from the AEW perspective and all that, that would definitely be a great marketing partnership for the two. I'm definitely picturing the cross promotion that you can do be a win-win for everybody, without a shadow of a doubt. Other than that, just thinking, I don't think there's anything else. We've been on the air now for about an hour, 22 minutes. One other thing I want to talk to you guys about, I'm not sure how many of you all are aware of this, but there is a new trailer that is out of a Stan Lee documentary. And I want to get the information up for you. I want you guys to watch this trailer because this trailer is just, it really punches you in the gut when you see it. It breaks your heart when you watch this trailer. It runs about, I would say maybe 2 minutes long. But by the time you get done watching it, you're going, man, like I want to see more of this. And the documentary is made by John Bálor, who apparently worked closely with Stan Lee during the last 4 years of Lee's life. And the name of the documentary is Stan Lee, The Final Chapter. It's a documentary about how Stan Lee was exploited by his former business partners for their financial gain, basically. So what I want to do, all right, so I got it pretty much. I got it ready to go. I just want to share my screen here. See, how do I do that? I think I say present, right? I think is it presents? Share screen. There it is. Okay. Yep. Show screen. And we want to show that. Also include the audio. Yep. And then what are you guys seeing? Okay, I see what you guys are seeing now. And then if I were to, all right, blow this up, what are you guys seeing now? All right, so first thing I want to do is get rid of, I got to get rid of that border. Bear with me a second here, folks. I'm just trying to, media assets. Yeah, that's what I want. So let's hide that. Okay, yeah, there we go. There you go. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's play this. I want you guys to check this out. Runs about 1 minute, 38 seconds. But man, this is, if you haven't watched this trailer yet, this is some powerful shit. All right, here we go.
My name is John Bálor, and for the last 4 years of Stan Lee's life, I was his assistant, his confidant, but most importantly, his friend. I traveled the world with him, witnessing firsthand the incredible highs of his legendary career, but also the heartbreaking lows. Stan spent his final years enduring mistreatment, manipulation, and betrayal at the hands of a few very bad actors.
Is there any way to get us out of the San Francisco thing? Or do you feel we gotta do it?
Gotta do it.
At the time, I didn't have the power to stop it, but I did have a camera and I filmed everything.
Whoa, watch out!
Now I'm asking for your help to finish the film and finally get justice for Stan. This documentary includes firsthand accounts from key witnesses, including comic book legends like Rob Liefeld and Roy Thomas, as well as many others who saw the chaos and unethical acts. This isn't speculation, it's all on camera. undeniable,
This is old Stan Lee coming at you.
No, you're not old.
irrefutable,
I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
no ambiguity. With your help, we can finish the film, expose the truth, and give Stan the justice he deserves.
All right, so that was the trailer there. All right, let me we're getting ready to do the how we bring that back. So we want that, and then let's go here. Nope, let's go let's go here. Yes, there we go. I'm back. Yay. Wow, powerful trailer, yeah. And for those of you that might be curious what's going on with that Kickstarter, I can find out for you right now how it's looking as far as money raised so far. I'm pretty sure if I just type in Stan Lee Kickstarter, let's see here. Yep, wait a minute. Stan Lee Kickstarter. I'm still looking. Wow. You would think that by typing in Stan Lee Kickstarter, you would in that search off the break, it'd be like the first link or whatever, but no. All right, so let's see here. I actually had to visit a website to find it that way. All right, so what this guy is looking to raise is $300,000. That's the goal right now as it stands. Over $65,000 has been pledged by 379 backers with 24 days to go. And as far as because I know like you guys are like, wait a minute, $300,000 for a goddamn documentary. Like, what exactly is going on here? What will the money allow us to do? The overwhelming majority of the funds raised will support the production of our film. While our goal is the minimum we need to complete the project, anything above that will go toward making the film that much better. Also, we would love to compensate some of our crew who have been volunteering their time over the years. Our production costs, paying our crew, feeding them, equipment rental, soundstage space, set construction, casting, wardrobe, hair and makeup, editing, music composition, visual effects, color correction, sound design, effects and mixing, song clearances, content clearances, legal fees. Now let's pause right there. I have a huge advantage over a lot of people that have the podcast, especially on the wrestling shows and all that. I'm majoring in media production and journalism. I'm getting my degree, my associate's degree this summer, so I can talk about things from a production standpoint. I am familiar with the type from writing treatments for radio shows, TV shows, PSAs, to preparing your budget costs, so that if you are to get, because people need to understand everything starts with a treatment, no matter what, like everything starts with a treatment. Once you have that treatment set up, you then go into your budget proposal, right? You got to have the two of those, because whoever you're going to be pitching this to, be it a streaming developer, a movie distribution company, what have you, you have to show them, okay, look, this is how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost this because this is what we plan to do. We plan on shooting for X amount of days. As part of that, we're going to be traveling to this place, that place. So, and the rule of thumb when it comes to your budget, you always want to try to go like about 15 to 20% above your total budget. That way, something weird goes down or whatever, you have that little bit of flexibility and cap room to, okay, this happened, but luckily we're covered because in what we asked for, to have this project be funded, we went 15, 20 cents above, the bare minimum, so we're good. So you have that flexibility and everything. Knowing what I know about audio editing, mixing, video editing, mixing, recording, lighting, set construction, all that stuff. Um, probably the only thing that I'm kind of looking at where I go is feeding our crew, right? Feeding them. That's the only one where I'm kind of looking at. Now, that can be part of a budget. It can be part of a budget. Um, but you can put an asterisk by that at the same time, right? Because it's kind of one of those, look, you're responsible for getting, your own food. You can take your lunch breaks at this time. It really depends. Like if it's a, hey, no matter what, at this time you can go take your lunch. So if you're gonna go to Burger King or whatever, like you can go do that, right? Um, that one I'm a little bit kind of I need more details on that one because if they're going to be doing a whole bunch of zigzagging and everything, I can't help but look at that area and go, I don't really know about that. The equipment rental, that is legit. That is legit because unless a friend or two or three that has the equipment in question that you need. Like it's one thing if you know people that have the right cameras, the right audio equipment. It's like, okay, like that's cool, but you still are going to have to pay them for their time. And then even at that, depending on the type of story that you're trying to tell, uh, and everything, like you might not be the type, well, I can't do this, I can't tell this story with a GoPro, I can't tell this story with the latest iPhone, like I need like official camera, I need to be able to do this. So whereas you might not be in a position where you can outright buy the equipment to be able to rent the equipment, right? Which also kind of factors in, hey, how well is your credit? How good is your credit? Right? Because at some places when you're trying to rent out equipment, they want to do that credit check and see how you're looking and everything. The casting makes a lot of sense because you basically these people that do decide, yeah, if you can get this person, all right, well, obviously you're going to have to obtain that person through their agent if they're being represented or whatever. What's their asking fee to do a sit down interview? Will it be a case where are they going to come to you at a remote location, or are you going to have to travel to them for the interview? And if so, how much is that going to cost? So you're also thinking definitely about your travel, any hotel expenses that might come about, and everything. Um, I consider I consider color correction to be in the same ballpark of visual effects because everything that's visual effects, color correction, all that, we consider that to be under video post pre-production, pre and post production editing. That's the type of work that we're looking at here. So some of this is a little bit exaggerated what I'm seeing here on the list. Song clearances, I'm very curious what kind of songs they're thinking about because in this day and age, especially with AI running around and everything, you can make your own original music. You just got to make sure that you cite that the music was created by. That way, you can avoid any potential lawsuits, things with that nature. So I'm sure a lot of you guys can think of plenty of reputable, really good sites where, hey, if you need music to do XYZ, especially in this day and age where you can just outright buy that music and pay the licensing fee. And for whatever you're trying to do, like you're gonna be covered, like especially if it's for a documentary or whatever, you're gonna be covered and all that. So some of this is definitely exaggerated. That's my whole point. Some of what's on this list, especially go back, you know. Also, we would love to compensate some of our crew who have been volunteering their time over the years. Okay, well, they knew what they were signing up for. So basically, this has been a passion project when it's all said and done. But if this Jonathan Bowlerjack, told them day one, hey, look, it's going to start off as a passion project, and hopefully I can eventually get you paid. And I just want to peek the curtain a little bit. When you got stuff like this, usually the way filming, production, and all that will come about, it usually starts with grabbing a group of friends, and then it's a case where, well, hey, if you know a fellow classmate or somebody that's at school that's attending, and they know somebody that's in this department, hey, like a perfect example, one of my classmates from a couple of semesters ago, he and I watched him work. He even tried to recruit me. He was telling me about this original concept story that he wanted to do for a movie. I won't reveal it because I don't want to. He didn't give me the green light, so I'm not going to share the story that he's coming up with here. But I did ask him. I said, "Did you write a treatment for it yet?" And he said, "Yeah, I got a treatment for it ready to go." I'm like, "Okay, bet." But what he is envisioning for this, he's going to get this movie done by basically getting the help of all the classmates that he's come across. So when he was talking to me and he found out some of my strong suits, he was trying to recruit me to be his audio guy. He wanted me to, uh, do the soundtrack. He wanted me to um, sweeten the sound effects for his movie and all that stuff. And I remember saying to him, I said, okay, what are you picturing for money whenever you get ready to? He's like, oh, no money, just, it'd be a passion project. I kind of want to do this like the Blair Witch Project. And you all know the story about Blair Witch, right? How basically that was done like for almost virtually $0, especially when it came to the casting, right? He's trying to go that route and basically become an overnight sensation. But my whole point, tying it back to the Stan Lee doc, yeah, you have a lot of people that will try to operate that way, where it'll start off just purely as a passion project, and friends and classmates or whatever will come on board, and then once they get to a certain point, okay, this is ready to go. Okay, combine that with the treatment, with the budget proposal. Then they start, getting some feelers out, seeing if they can get some interviews with some of the heads for the distributing companies, and pretty much go from there and everything. Some of the rewards that they got available for this, it ranges. You could just donate $1 just to, hey, here you go, guys. And then you've got other rewards where they give you, I wish this would load up. Okay, there it is. You get a limited edition comic book. Looks like it's some type of a photo spread from what I remember reading a couple of days ago. You got some additional add-ons as well, postcards, a Roy Thomas signature, some variant covers, things of that nature. Where it starts to get really, really interesting, excuse me, where it starts to get really interesting is when you get to the $300 joint. Special thanks in film credit. There is also, is it still here? I remember there was screening events. I wonder if those, Looks like those might be gone now. I'm just scrolling through this real quick, just trying to make sure because I want to make sure we're giving you guys the right information in real time here. Okay, I see it now. Yeah. So you can make your initial contribution, and then if you want to do an add-on, looks like the way they've tweaked it now, there is a additional screening and Q&A ticket for the screening of the film. I remember seeing Los Angeles, New York, maybe PA was on the list as well. Maybe Jersey was on the list as well. But you can see all the information when you go to the Kickstarter for those of you that's interested. Look, it's really weird. I feel very conflicted about this. And I'm going on and on and on about this because, not for nothing, but, I love Stan Lee. Grew up on all the wonderful characters, right? I'm still a comic book nerd to this day, like many of you all that's out there. And I had the fortunate pleasure right before he passed away a couple of years after. I had the fortunate pleasure of meeting Stan Lee. He was at Awesome Con, and it was really cool how that had came about because Tammy, she said to me, wifey, she was like, okay, I know you want to do this WWE thing, and that was the same year that Shinsuke Nakamura and Charlotte were at Awesome Con that weekend as well. And I was so mad that I wasn't able to meet Stan Lee, because when I saw that Stan Lee was going to be coming there, I wanted his autograph and I wanted to do a photo op. But it just wasn't in the budget. We couldn't do, there was no way we could do both. Honestly, there's no way we could do it at all because we had already did the Charlotte for Shinsuke Nakamura. But then my wife surprised me and she goes, okay, look, I got a little bit of extra money. So if you want to do Stan Lee, we can do it, but choose wisely because I can only do one. I can't do both. So it was like, man, do I meet Stan Lee or do I get his autograph? And I thought about it long and hard, and it would have been easy for me to go find a comic book vendor, look for something really cool and, have Stan Lee sign that bad boy. But I decided, nah, you know what? I want to be able to meet him, tell him I appreciate, everything that he's done. And man, the way, tell me I'm lying. For those that remember my Awesome Con Stan Lee story, tell me I'm lying. This should be very consistent. I remember, walking up to Stan Lee and, shaking his hand and telling him how much, I appreciate him and everything. But the way that they had it set up, they were giving us these ridiculous orders like, fam, it was like, what's going on here? Like, what are we really doing here? Because they were like, don't touch Stan Lee. What else did they say? Don't lean on Stan Lee. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who's going to lean on Stan Lee? Like, everybody can tell, like, he is this, pretty old man here. Like, we're not trying to break the guy. Like, what the hell? But there was just a whole bunch of like this just ridiculous orders that they were giving us. And we were all talking about it in the line. We were like, what the hell? We're like, what's going on here? And it was one of the most awkward meet and greets that I ever came across because, and I remember when I said what I said to Stan Lee, it wasn't a case where he was like, hey, thanks for coming now. Great to see you. He pretty much was just, it was so creepy because when you were in the line, and I know me and a couple other people, we literally said this out loud. We were like, is it really him? He's like, because he's like, he's just there. Like, he's not moving. And we had to look at his eyes to see if they were blinking to go, okay, so it's a real person. Like, okay. It was really, really, but to now know what I know now about some of the stuff that was happening, behind the scenes and everything, you're just going, oof, that's just really, really, that sucks to hear and everything, because he should not have been out there like that. being pimped out. He should have not been out there like that. This guy that's doing the Kickstarter, look, and I'm going on and on and on about this to say this. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be eyeing this Kickstarter. They're, probably going to want to support it. I did day I saw the trailer, and I said, matter of fact, I was talking to buddy of the show, and I said, I don't know. I might back it. I might try to do a Q&A screening or whatever. And then the more and more that I thought about it, I'm going, well, if this guy, John Bálor, knew all this stuff, oh, I got proof that this guy was being used and abused by these despicable people. It's like, okay, if you knew all this shit, and you got it on camera, why didn't you go to the police? That would be the first question I would. Why didn't you go to the police? Why is it that we're gonna see this exclusive footage and you got the proof, you filmed it all, we got to pay a Kickstarter just to see this? That in itself just comes off very, you say, oh, it's so sad, it's so disgusting, it's so despicable what these people did to this man, and how they desecrated him, and it's like, well, couldn't we make an argument that you're doing the same damn thing? So this is why I can't do interviews anymore, because I would be going to town on people. I would get blacklisted real fucking quick. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys. I just, and I hope you all are thinking this way as well, because it's like, okay, he has all this proof. He has all this proof. He shot it all. Oh, he spent 4 years with the man. He's got it all. He knows the real deal. It's like, well, why the hell did you put this up? Have you been at all working with the police and trying to bring whatever respected people? And here's the other thing when it comes to these documentaries. This dude better be careful. This John Bálor, he better be very, very careful, because if his shit ain't crossed, and this is why, yeah, you probably do want to make sure that as far as legal fees, yeah, you probably do want to make sure that your ass got everything taken care of, because learn from what happened, and we talked about it here on the show. What was that documentary that Investigation Discovery came out with some months back, fam? It was the one on was it Dan Schneider? Yeah, I think it was Dan Schneider, the Nickelodeon thing. Remember that? And how when all that came out, and just what was essentially insinuated, the narrative that was out there, that Snyder dude ended up suing the Investigation Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery, just everybody involved with the documentary. Like, it was ugly, and I don't know what became of that. I don't know if that ended up getting settled or what. But the last thing this guy John Bálor needs on his hands is a sticky situation like that. So look, to anybody that might be interested in that documentary, knock yourself out. Me personally, now that I'm really, really thinking about it and everything, I'm going, yeah, I don't know, because I've always had the mindset of, just think about this for a second. For those of you that's been with me the entire show, if I just told you how at the top of the show I came across somebody that was unconscious in their vehicle during the weekend, you remember the story before that, how I stayed at the scene to help out victims that were trapped in a car, and unfortunately one of them did not survive, and so my character when it's all said and done. That I'm all about helping people. Like, when you are in a situation where you're able to help, like, there's no second guessing about it. It's like you just do it. So if you are in a position where you're witnessing somebody that is constantly going through some form of whatever, And if you're somehow able to document that, okay, well, now that you have documented it, and it's a case where you've not only documented it for such a long time, but there is just enough evidence that's there. And while that person is still alive, you're able to now look, maybe this guy addresses some of what I'm talking about here in this documentary. All I know is the way the optics are looking right now, it just kind of seems like he's trying to cash in on it. So, my whole point, fam, don't be so quick to jump on this Kickstarter. If anything, pay attention to when this guy is making his media rounds. Pay very close attention to the people that are doing these interviews. Pay attention to the questions that they're asking. More specifically, pay attention to the questions that's not being asked, which is some of the stuff that we talked about here. And I tell you what, if by the time this documentary comes out and we're still kind of like, we'll feel a lot better in the long haul going, hey, glad I didn't donate to, to that. Cause boy, that was you feel me? So, but that's my thoughts about that one. I know a lot of people are going to be talking about this documentary. I mean, it's already catching some waves right now, but I would imagine the discussion is definitely going to continue. Other than that, nothing else is transpiring. I'm just making my rounds on social media one more time, making sure we didn't miss anything here. Interesting. Village Roadshow has filed for bankruptcy after fallout from a financial dispute with Warner Brothers over The Matrix Resurrections. They were the production company behind The Matrix, Joker, the Lego Movie, Zoolander, I Am Legend, Mad Max, Fury Road, and Happy Feet. Good God Almighty! How about that? Insane, yeah, insane. Let's see here. I want to acknowledge some comments here. I had mentioned to Universal to catch up with whatchamacall. This was I really got to bring back the timeout so that when people are commenting, it kind of, rather than just, I'm looking at all the comments that he left like a bunch of comments within a minute. How are you? My reaction to John Cena. John Cena's heel turn and his heel turn promo are the worst heel turn and worst heel turn promo in pro wrestling. Stop. I'm not going to even read anymore. No, I'm going to stop right there. No, the way that the heel turn was done was great as far as I was concerned. My only caveat to the heel turn, I was expecting for it to go down at WrestleMania, and I wasn't expecting for John Cena to be the one to go heel. I actually was expecting for Cody Rhodes to be the one to go heel. So considering how things had played itself out, um, I loved what I had saw at the conclusion of Elimination Chamber. And I know we got all these rumors that's floating around right now about, well, no, originally John Cena was going to go heel at WrestleMania, but it was decided, like, I look, until I hear definitively from John Cena on how everything had came about, again, it's one of those, let me just kick back, enjoy the ride for what it's worth, and just take it from there and everything. Um, Worst heel turn promo in or correction, uh worst heel turn in pro wrestling history. No, and I really appreciate the following wrestler who we mentioned earlier in the show. But if there was ever a turn where I go, man, what are they thinking? I just remember me and my friends going, huh? When Stone Cold Steve Austin went heel. I mean, that right there was just, we were scratching our heads. We didn't even boo. We didn't even laugh. We all just looked at each other and we were like, how the hell does that make sense? And we weren't as hip to everything that was going on behind the scenes, back then, right? Because we're talking about the early 2000s here and everything, and internet was still relatively new. What all we could do and everything. But we were looking at that Austin Hill turn, and we were like, huh? And then when we were watching the following week's WWE programming, yeah, even after that, we just this is kind of flat. But then eventually Steve Austin started finding his groove. Kurt Angle, what stuff and all that other stuff. But to hear Steve Austin say in a recent interview that as far as his heel turn, like to hear him say, look, I thought that was bad. Like I'm not one that should be giving advice to John Cena. Like, yeah, that's a lot. That speaks. It's nice to be able to really self-reflect and go, yeah, that was a dud, wasn't it? So, um, for me as a wrestling fan, and I've been seeing it all since the early 80s, that Steve Austin turn was definitely one of the worst. As far as John Cena's heel turn, no, not bad whatsoever. Let's see, as far as the promo goes, um, look, this is the first joint out of the gate. And again, I prefaced this earlier. We've got 33 days to go until WrestleMania. So when it's all said and done, that literally gives hang on one second. Hey Google, when is WrestleMania 41? April 19th. So when it's all said and done, that gives them hang on here. That gives them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That gives them 9 shows, fam. That gives them 9 shows to tell this story, which we just talked about how, look, the promo was rather solid, because we basically had him out there like a whiny little bitch. But there's some holes in it, right? It wasn't exactly a flawless, and you could definitely feel a restricted John Cena within reason. Like it feels, and it feels like this was done on purpose from the standpoint of, yeah, this is it. Like, surely there's more to this dueling on the microphones here. Surely there's more to this. And with like 9 shows to go, they in 33 days, they can take their time and really tell that story, right? We're in a society now where it's like we want, kind of going back to the guy from earlier, bitching about the fact that he wasn't going to watch a 3-minute short on a pizza review. Okay, well, that's, you can't please them all, nor should you try. Universal to the comments, that he made. He says a lot more, but we're just going to stop him right there because he's literally asking a question but kind of answering his own question at the same time. This is one of those, you've got to sit back and rather than instant gratification, give me everything right here and the now, make it make sense, blah this, blah that. Sometimes you just got to take a step back and go, okay, you know what? We got X amount of weeks until, if by the time I get to the week of WrestleMania and they haven't done that fine, good job in telling the complete story of what we need here to really be invested, then yeah, you know what? This definitely fell on all cylinders flat, right? And again, we all can be in agreement as far as what we got out of the gate. Not quite what we all were expecting of a promo. More questions than answers, right? We still don't know the Rock element. Like, why did you join forces? We don't know none of that yet. Okay. Um, to essentially have John Cena come out there and hey, you all, it's never enough. it's like, what are you talking about? It's almost like he just woke up one day and you could say, damn, you got dementia or something, dude. Like, why are you just kirking out? Like, what's going on here? But still pretty good. Still a very intriguing story arc when it's all said and done. It's gotta, I would say after 2 weeks of this, then we have, okay, now we got a really good bite size. If we're concerned, trepidations, whatever, like, then it's one of those, okay, now let's really get into this. For God's sake, Elimination Chamber was 2 weeks ago. John Cena did not immediately appear on WWE programming. This was his first joint out of the gate. So, and you would like to believe that he is working very closely with the team and figuring out, okay, so what are we doing here? What's the story we're trying to tell? How are we going to, right? So, first joint out of the gate, you can make an argument should have been a little bit better, especially since we didn't see John in 2 weeks, and essentially WWE had that much more time to fine tune things, right? But we've got 9 shows in 33 days, right? WWE's got 9 shows of programming to do in 33 days to tell that complete story. I say, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and let's see where all of this goes, right? But yeah. Other than that, that is going to do it. Let's put a pretty little ribbon around this show. So as far as programming notes go, we're definitely going to do a bonus show for you guys. I know SmackDown is going to be coming on at a special start time this week. I think that might be around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. But we're here on the East Coast, so sadly, that's going to be regular time as far as SmackDown. That sucks, right? That sucks big time. Let's see what happens. I think we might fire it up. I think we might fire it up on Friday. We'll see. I'll poll you guys and we'll kind of go from there. But I know for sure I want to do a bonus show. We were actually supposed to do something midweek last week, but my mother-in-law, she had came down with a really bad case of bronchitis and everything. So we've been making sure she gets back to good health and everything seems to be on the up and up better. So, and then that's what's up. But another bonus show we will be doing for you guys. And then don't forget next Monday, which is March. What's that? March 24th. We'll be on with a special post show. What's that? They're coming on 4 p.m. Eastern is Raw. So we should be on, I would think 7 p.m. Eastern at the latest. We'll be on for you guys. Meanwhile, I want you all to be kind and rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, especially wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR Show. Shout out to Anthony Mish Thomas, Joe Numbers of Wrestling Soup. Shout out to my man. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden drawing a blank. It happens. We're live. But shout out to my man John Draper, Spitball Media. Shout out to I'm drawing a blank on his name, Julian Cannon. Yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot my butt there. Shout out to Julian Cannon of Digiday and the Nocturnal. And just thinking if there's anybody else I want to shout out. No, that's it. I'm good on the shout outs. So show the YouTube channel some love. Make sure you hit the likes, all that jazz. If you enjoyed what I did here, that definitely would mean a lot. Like this episode on the YouTube channel. And we mentioned it earlier. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can check out on the YouTube channel that was uploaded within the past several days. Getting the itch there. I've been uploading more and more and more. So hope you guys enjoy, right? I want you all to enjoy. And that is going to do it. Until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And I will see you guys next go around. Adios, y'all, and take care.